This week on Gotham Reviews, things got even better. We're so close. We have one more episode left. This episode was amazing. Can't wait to tell you all about it. I'm Eli Wilbur.
David Troutman.
And this is Waiting for Batman.
This episode of Waiting for Batman is called Pork Gets Porked.
Welcome back to the Fan Cave, guys. We have a great Gotham review for you this week. Man, it's just getting better and better. After this, one more episode left, and that's the season finale of Gotham, and man, we're expecting some good things.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of haters on this show. And look, I get it. Like, it's network, so it's...
Yeah.
If this show had been on Netflix or AMC, you know the number of haters would go way down. But, hey... It is what it is. I love this show. I'm excited. And I'm a Batman fan. I'm a diehard Batman fan. I'm such a Batman fan that I have this phone case, and you can't really tell on the screen, but it's very sparkly. It's very glittery. So
you woman.
It's kind of girly.
I didn't notice that.
But hey, look, I don't care because it's got Batman on it, so I'll rock it. I don't care.
So moving on.
Let's go ahead and dive into the Rogues Gallery for a Gotham review, guys. Man. What were your thoughts?
This is probably my favorite episode.
This is,
it's up there.
Yeah.
All the exposition that we've been putting up with for the last few episodes.
Yes.
It all almost ended here. This could have been the season finale.
This definitely could have been the season finale. Back in the 90s, this would have been the season finale. It would have been enough to get you going and be like, oh my god. And then it's just like, oh, but you have to wait until a whole year in order to see the payoff. But it looks like that the season finale is going to have a lot of awesome
It's going to have to be huge.
It's going to be huge. I mean, look, we've already seen two spoiler pictures. One of Fish Mooney's return. Yeah. She looks pretty hardcore. Also, the Penguin rocking a machine gun. Yeah. But hey, there was a lot of things to get us excited in this episode, too. So let's go ahead and dive in, guys. The Ogre. We pick up on the Ogre and Barbara. What happened after that crazy night of loving? Because obviously they used that room.
Right.
Duh. Now, you know what? Most likely what happened is he was just like... cook me some lamb. Like, they made out, like, heavy petting. They were just going at it. And just as she was about to unzip his pants, she's like, whoa.
Do you know how to cook lamb? He just holds up, like, a shank and some rosemary.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're doing this until it's right. So after a full night of making lamb, we see the Ogre continuing his morning with her.
Right. We kind of see that Barbara is not as crazy as we thought. The last episode kind of made it seem like maybe she was going to be into the Ogre and maybe like she was going to be his partner in crime. Like, that's what I got of it. That's what I was.
It was almost like Harley Quinn-ish.
It really was. Bit. That was my feeling about it. And I liked that. I was like, that's an interesting twist. That's cool. She ended up being scared of him.
She took it as, a freaky night, but now we're done. I gotta go. Right. I gotta go.
And then he
says no.
He's like, I was gonna kill you.
Yeah.
She was like, whoa. Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. You were gonna kill me?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah.
No,
definitely. He puts the cards on the table for her. She doesn't like them. She's like, get out of here! And she tries to leave, and he's like, no. And,
the door is locked.
Right, the door's always locked, lady.
And can we point out during all this, he is straight-faced.
Look,
Hannibal Lecter serial killer.
He did a great job. Yeah. Milo did an awesome job with this role. And I know him from Heroes. I like him in Heroes. He rocked this role. He was definitely very good as a serial killer.
I feel like a lot of it has been the GCPD talking about how evil and cruel he is. And they've showed we did see him kill that one girl and get mad about the lamb.
Right.
But this time, we got to see a full-blown serial killer.
We got to see him act.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot more Milo acting in this one. I liked it. You gotta be f***ing kidding me. You Before we continue, just so you know, there's dynamite being exploded in my backyard right now. So if you hear some explosions, some loud foghorns, just ignore it.
It's not the Joker.
Yeah, it's not the Joker.
It's construction.
We're not sitting here laughing while chaos is going on around us. We'd be out there in our awesome t-shirts fighting crime, but no. It's just idiots on the road. We get to see what happened to the Riddler this episode. We get to follow up on him and his exploits. Man.
If it wasn't good enough last time when he killed the dude.
Kris Kringle sees her ex-boyfriend mangled and chopped up.
Yeah, not knowing it's him.
Not knowing it's him.
She just thinks like, oh, this is your job.
Right.
Ew.
Yeah, she thinks it's just forensic stuff, and it's hilarious. Just his.
I mean, there's still clothes, there's still clothes on, and
totally.
just kind of how haphazard.
There's
another case of it.
It was really disgusting, but it was awesome. The way he handled it, his mannerisms. You made a great point, man. That was very Riddler. It was all over exaggerated,
very quick, choppy almost.
Yes, like the payoff. The first sick Riddle.
Oh.
He, as the officer, as Kris Kringle's boyfriend, writes her a letter. A goodbye letter kind of thing. She's reading it, she's all mad or whatever, and he says something. He's like, well, with men, sometimes you have to read between the lines. And she makes some quip and leaves. Well, then he goes, he repeats the line, and then he covers the page enough to where you just see the first letter of each new sentence, and it spells out Nigma. Classic Riddler.
Friggin' cool.
It was rad. It was a wonderful fan service. Really enjoyed that, man.
Don't worry about the coffee.
You douchebags. Moving on, Bruce has got some real guilt over the whole Reg thing.
Yeah.
But first, it's Alfred. He finally tells Alfred about Reg because Alfred is, he finds out about Reg's death and he wants to give him a
funeral or something.
Give him a funeral, give him a proper send-off, all that. And Bruce is trying to, he's trying to not say anything, but he can't. He's a good guy. Batman is one of the best people ever in that, he's a genuinely good person, and he's not going to lie to Alfred.
Right. Not
until much later. He tries to lie, he can't hold it in, and he tells Alfred, and Alfred takes it pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as we can tell, who knows, maybe the next episode there's going to be some fallout, but...
some resentment, yeah.
But, he seems to take it pretty well. He wants to know what, why, where, when.
It's almost like he sort of knew, too.
Sure.
I think, I think he's been very on to... He's been on the Bruce the whole time. I think he's been
Alfred is the only person
skeptical.
Alfred has always been the only person who could read Bruce and just know what he's really thinking and what he's really doing. It's a powerful moment between the two, but it's not as much fallout as we were expecting. And at the end of of that moment there, Bruce Wayne says, even good men have secrets.
Yeah.
And that was a little hint at Batman. Aside from that part of the story, Bruce finally goes after our boy Bunderslaw, who... There's some dynamite going off right there, guys. Chaos and destruction around the fan cave. Bane is breaking in. Bruce goes after Bunderslaw's little secret safe, and Bunderslaw, he sees him coming, so he's already cleared the safe. He catches Bruce off guard, offers him a cookie.
Yeah.
Great moment. That guy is a great actor. There was definitely a great interaction between those two characters.
If we have to see corporation type scenes, I do hope that he'll be in them.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of this character. I'm excited to see what role he plays on later on in the Batman mythos, but very interesting. And he pretty much reveals to Bruce, hey, look, your dad was just as bad as the rest of us.
And your grandpa.
And your grandpa. Your family's as corrupt as the rest of Gotham. And, of course, Bruce is like, no! That's
not true!
Impossible! and then Bunderslaw's just like, you know it to be true.
Yeah.
Such a feelings. And then a new character walks in. A character that we were not expecting to happen. Thank you, Fox, for not spoiling
I'm
this.
I'm shocked they didn't.
Lucius Fox walks in, and we're kind of like, yes, here's a familiar face or a familiar character. And he walks in, and we, reveal that he's, one of the young up-and-coming guys in Wayne Enterprises. Which means that, of course, he's going to screw it up. Because Lucius is not a bad guy. He's a good guy, and we know that. And he takes a moment with Bruce and kind of, discreetly tries to tell him... Piece of shit. Lucius discreetly tries to tell Bruce, hey, look, don't listen to that guy. Your dad was one of the good guys, but he was stoic. He kept it in. He was not like you, a little hothead trying to, stir the pot. He he kept it, he kept his secrets in the dark. And you pointed something out because a lot of people there's a lot of things out there on the internet saying, oh, we're going to get our first tease to the Batcave in this episode. Mm-hmm. I didn't see no Batcave, but
I think it was said. So Bruce is under the assumption that, his dad and his grandpa were these bad people. So now his mind's all torn. And Lucius is saying, when he said that line, like, something along the lines of your dad worked in the dark or something like that.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, Thomas Wayne had his own Batcave of sorts.
Right.
Which explains Bruce's further, his relationship with Lucius.
Yeah.
As it goes on, it might have already been pre-established with his dad.
Yeah, maybe Lucius was kind of the tech guy to help Thomas hack into Wayne and influence from there. Or what if Thomas is the beginning of Batman? Like that's interesting.
It might have been
like, I don't care if that's not, according to Batman mythos. That's interesting. That's cool. I like that idea. The last shot of the season finale, Bruce finds the Batcave.
Yes. Oh. You see just his hand lift up the head of a bust and press a button, and then
bookcase or the grandfather clock just
turns, slides down the pole.
Bat pole.
Season over.
It'd be nice to see some bat pole. In the hunt for the ogre, Gordon and Bullock, they have to kind of they have to turn some stones trying to find this guy. And Gordon, he goes off to try and work a deal with the Penguin. Bullock, on the other hand, he gets an invite to this secret society club or whatever. Now, the invite comes from Penguin. Mm-hmm. Penguin is their kind of,
he's in the know-how.
Yeah, he's their Fish Mooney now. Before they would go to Fish Mooney for this kind of stuff, now they go for Penguin. But Penguin is he asks for favors. He asks for a lot of favors, and we're seeing Gordon get dig a deeper hole with Penguin, which is interesting because we know these characters. We know Jim Gordon. We know Oswald Cobblepot. It's going to be interesting to see that relationship develop further into the Batman mythos, and how deep does it go?
Sure.
At what point does the Penguin say, "You owe me a favor," and Gordon says, "No, I'm not doing your favor," and then
they're enemies.
And then they're enemies, or Penguin goes after his family, or whatever. It's going to be interesting to see that, accumulate. Maybe this next episode, maybe next season. There's definitely some interesting interaction between those guys. Butch kind of gets involved, and Gordon just pulls a gun on Butch. It was intense because Gordon.
That's very uncharacteristic of him. So it was. Right. I think they forced his hand.
Definitely
the interrogation thing too.
The interrogation thing. He sends Bullock out. Yeah, that was cool because he was like, Harvey, I'm about to violate, interrogation protocol, and
there's some donuts out there with my name on them.
Harvey always has the best comedy in the episodes, but man, this one had the best Harvey moments because then he gets the invite to the secret club or whatever, the club that's mobile, moves around, so they have the Penguin tells them where it is, gets them an invite,
just the one ticket.
Yeah, it's only one ticket. So yeah, Gordon can't go. He sends Harvey, and what does Harvey say? He's like, because he tells Harvey, he's like, you
might want to wear something different.
Yeah,
and he was like, mentions about the Italian suits that they took, and some of them fell in his locker. It's like that's so. God, you're a dirty cop, but I love you.
Right, he's the good dirty cop. Where it's like he's doing the most innocent dirty things.
He thinks he is so friggin' cool. He has the Italian suit on, and he just thinks he is pimp. And he's walking into this club, and there's, the cute girl in the kind of weird, like, spiky dress or whatever, and he just thinks, like, oh, this is pretty swanky or whatever. His hair slicked back, he's in the suit, and he walks in, and he's starting to realize how out of place he is.
It's a sex club.
Yeah, it's a sex fetish leather and whip club.
Yeah.
So he's in this nice suit. Everybody's just in leather and S&M outfits.
Oh, yeah.
Because at first he walks in, and I'm like, he's been there before. He knows what's up. And then he keeps strolling through, and you just see this freaky fetish stuff all over the place. Nobody's wearing a suit.
And then they announce the show, the big entertainment. The show
that was about to start.
And we don't see it, which I love.
You just see his face.
It's all his face. And when we hear a pig squealing.
Yeah, you hear like two voices. And a pig squeal.
So you're like, oh my god, like this is bad. And the look on Harvey's face just drops, and he just goes, GCPD, everyone don't move, especially
you two.
Then that's how they get they find out where the ogre is, because the ogre has obviously been to this club.
Yeah. It was one of his early victims before he started killing.
Yeah, exactly.
And she just remembered enough to give, to tell them the
what
location.
they needed. Yeah. All while they're going after the ogre, we're seeing the ogre work with Barbara, and he's trying to convince her, I love you.
Yeah.
You know, you're the only girl for me, blah, blah, blah. Like all these other women I've killed, but you're the one.
And he shows her?
Yeah, he shows her.
all the
It's
pictures?
intense, and she kind of freaks out. And she kind of, at a certain point at the end of it, she kind of becomes catatonic. You know, you just don't know what she's thinking anymore. He forces her to pick who she wants dead. He's like, you tell me who to kill or I'll kill you.
Yeah, somebody's going to die.
Yeah.
You or somebody you say.
This is up, honestly. The first thing that comes to mind, like, if I were in Barbara's situation, send him after Jim. Jim can handle himself.
Yeah.
No, she sends him after her parents, which we do see that there's a strained relationship between them, so she doesn't like them, but man.
They kill her off.
Yeah.
And they do.
Jim and Bullock, they come in, they find out, they're too late when it comes to the parents, but they're at least able to save Barbara. They kill the ogre. It was an intense little scene because at a certain point, Barbara says, just leave us alone, Jim. That's going to be obviously part of her storyline going forward is what happened to Barbara, what's going to happen to Barbara, what kind of character is she?
She's mentally boned.
The big part of the storyline, I feel like, was Penguin. We thought that this was going to be the episode that Penguin was going to kill Maroney. With all the planning, we see guns getting planted, and Butch thought it was going to happen too, apparently. We thought
he was totally in the dark.
Maroney was going to die this episode, and...
Because he totally could have.
But did I not call it last time?
You did.
I totally, last time we were watching it, I was like, he's playing this guy. That's what Penguin does. He plays people. You know, Irish assassin pulls out the gun... You know, he and other homeboy, he pulls out the machine gun and firing pin is out.
And they still think it's Falcone.
Yeah.
They think Falcone sent all this to happen. Because that's what they were playing the whole time.
Penguin tells Irish boy, give him this message, and Irish boy is like, no, I don't, typically I don't like to tell a dying man a message, but, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's why.
He says from Falcone and all that. So now Maroney thinks it was a hit on him, and we get friggin' war.
We've been expecting to see the gang war.
Well, and they've been alluding to it.
It's been a build-up.
And we actually see a little bit of it too.
Right. Cool.
That's why this could have been the season ending. I mean, you see Maroney's boys out there with their...
got the sawed-off shotgun. He's blasting the car, and... Yeah, no.
Falcone opens up the box and it's the Irish guy's head in there.
Yep. No, this is it. This is the war between the Falcones and the Maronis. We know that Fish is going to come back in the next episode. Penguin's going to have a machine gun. So this is it, And then at the end of the episode, the captain comes out and she's just like, all right, guys, it's war out there.
Yeah.
Like...
Full force.
Yeah, full force. No leaves, no sick days, nothing. You're all out there. We have a gun war.
This is scary. I mean,
it's definitely interesting. And look, that's the Gotham we know. You know, that's the Gotham we've been wanting to see. Not just this procedural crap.
Yeah.
We want to see people on the streets getting blasted.
And during all this, Penguin's in this friggin' bar.
I'm almost wondering if that was a mistake to tell Butch, because
it was like a Bond villain.
Yeah.
I pulled the pins out.
Yeah.
This was going to happen.
I feel like he shouldn't have told Butch because Butch is under influence from Zaz. And who does Zaz work for? He works for Falcone.
It was a Falcone, okay.
So, I don't know. Is it like... Is Butch going to play a big part in the next episode?
Because he's really unsettled by it all.
We don't know what where he lies in all this. I have a theory that maybe this is the Butch that just works for Penguin from now on.
Sure.
Or maybe he's gonna become a bigger player. There's so much that we get to kind of find out in the next
episode. That's it.
Yep. There's only one more episode. It's gonna be fun. I cannot wait.
I'm excited for next week.
Yeah.
I can't friggin' wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great episode. We'll go into a lot of detail next week in our final review of the season, and stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. But until then, guys, I'm Eli Wilbur.
David Troutman.
And this has been Waiting for Batman here on Villainous Entertainment. We'll see you guys next week.